Alrighty folks, I'm Mundane Mustard White, merrily munching on mild mustard.
I'm Amber.
And here's more mild mustard for us to munch upon. It turned out that it was Reddit, and it was just as spicy. So let's get started. Alright folks, and our first letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Telling My 33-year-old male boyfriend that he's getting an ego over something that a high schooler can do? Edit, thanks to everyone for the responses. It was way more than I expected, and I had to have this post locked before it got too out of hand. I agree with the minority of people who did call me out on lashing out. It wasn't okay, nor was it justified. And yes, I did softly tell him multiple times certain things were hurtful. He acknowledged it, but he kept continuing. I think what he is going through is difficult, but I also don't want to be with someone who treats me poorly because they're stressed out or feel that they're in a tough spot. I know that this post was long, but it obviously only captures a fraction of the overall relationship. That being said, the majority opinion that this isn't compatible has been heard and is also echoed by people in my personal life. Guess I just needed to hear it from strangers. Thanks again. Hi everyone, so I'm a 31-year-old female and I've been in a relationship with my boyfriend, a 33-year-old male, for about a year, although we have been friends for a long time before this. For some context, I don't think that academics or education level dictates how smart someone is, but this is important for the overall story. I grew up as the firstborn daughter of an immigrant family. I was always expected to get straight A's, and I did. I went to get my undergrad, and then I eventually completed my master's degree a few years ago. It's not something that I was passionate about, but cultural/family pressure is why I did it, and I don't necessarily regret it. I have a stable career at a job that I like now. Well, on the other hand, my boyfriend, he never graduated high school. He's smart in other ways, like he can fix cars and toilets and mount a TV. I consider this a type of intelligence. And he can hold onto a conversation on any topic because he's an avid watcher of documentaries and he really likes historical nonfiction. He also has severe ADHD that was never medicated and has never been able to keep a job, constantly fired because he has time blindness and can additionally sleep through any alarm. His family supports him financially and unconditionally. We're both very different people, and I always thought that it was a strength, but I'm realizing that it may not be now. He has always had grand ideas for himself. He wanted to become a famous actor, and then a game streamer, and then a horror novel writer, etc. And then one day, earlier this year, he stated that he wanted to become a mechanical engineer. He was very confident that he could do it. And this time, he actually took the steps to get a GED one day by enrolling in online classes, so that he could finish high school and then apply to colleges afterwards. Well, this is when things started to break apart. He started taking chemistry, beginner, and math at a level that someone in 11th grade would take, and I think began to quickly realize how difficult it was going to be after talking a big game. He's not used to feeling dumb. He's always the smartest one in his friends group and speaks over everyone else. I think that his struggle with these high school topics did some damage to his ego, and he's begun to take it out on me. For example, on a night that we were supposed to be watching a movie, he wanted to study chemistry instead, and so I sat next to him and I studied with him. It was things like definitions of what covalent bonds were, ionic bonds are, along those kinds of lines. I made a very casual comment like, oh cool, I get to learn this stuff too. He looks at me, snorts, and says, you don't know what a covalent bond is? The way he said it to me, it was like he thought that I was the world's biggest, dumbest person. I told him that I haven't touched this stuff in over 12 years. It's not something that I have stored in my brain. In the coming weeks, he would send me Instagram reels related to chemistry and science. One of them was like 3 minutes long about a guy explaining how some machines work with chemistry using a lot of heavy jargon. I just jokingly said, wow, that's cool, and a lot of words. And he looks at me and goes, you didn't understand that. It was all fairly simple concepts. So this behavior was really starting to get on my nerves. It kept happening and happening, even with other things too. For example, we were streaming a movie online and he dropped the call without saying anything and called me back 20 minutes later saying that he fixed something and we can try again. I asked what the issue was out of curiosity, and he said, I would explain it to you, but you wouldn't understand. Go learn about tech stuff first, and then I can explain it. Later, I learned that this call dropped because he got the blue screen of death. Who needs to learn tech stuff to have them explain that to them? Well, anyways, this was a behavior that persisted for months, where he would go out of his way to point out how dumb I am or how lacking in knowledge I am, and it made it seem like a personality flaw that I didn't know all the chemistry stuff that he was learning. He completely never mentioned math because, in fact, I did know that stuff. I was a math tutor for 4 years while completing my undergrad. So by the time that he finished that course with an 84%, I was just tired. He kept going around bragging to all of his friends that he got an 84% in chemistry and that he barely tried. It gave me the ick because it reminded me of a middle schooler bragging about his report card and not a grown man trying to pursue an education in engineering. Well, the final jab was when he made a passing comment about how he just gets the science stuff more than me and is intuitively more interested in this stuff. And then I told him that 16-year-olds take chemistry class every year and pass it easily. I'm not sure it warrants getting this much of an ego over it. And he's been mad ever since. Was there a better way to have handled this? Am I the jerk? All right, folks, what do you think?
I'm going to say not the jerk given the whole rest of the context. Like, normally you would be a jerk for saying something like that over something that someone's really proud of.
Yeah.
But the way he was, like, rubbing it in OP's face that she didn't remember this stuff, like, I took chemistry in high school and in college, and I don't remember all the details. If I wanted to relearn it, I could.
Yeah.
But, like, you know, if you were to show me, you know, some kind of, like, big chemistry thing, I might not recognize it off the top of my head. It is not a measure of how intelligent or not anyone is. Like, it's just, like, do you have this knowledge in the forefront of your mind? And, like, most people, once they get out of school, a lot of that knowledge just kind of falls to the back of their head, and there's nothing wrong with that. It just seems like he was going above and beyond at every step of the turn, at every step of the way to try and prove that he is more intelligent and superior to OP.
Yeah.
And that's just so gross. And so, like, the way he degraded her.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I took like 4 years of chemistry in high school and then some chemistry afterwards, and I wouldn't be able to tell you much about chemistry. I mean, that's just the reality of this situation, right? If it's not something that you use on a daily basis, it's not something that you're going to have off the top of your head. Would it be hard for me to pick chemistry back up? No, of course it wouldn't be that hard, right? And that's really where it boils down to. Once you have a fundamental knowledge of something, it's usually a lot easier to remember it. As for his attitude here, this is completely disrespectful, right? Mm-hmm. He's trying to tear OP down so that he can build himself up.
Yeah, well, like, OP was just trying to take an interest in what he was doing, and like,
Yeah.
oh, I can relearn this too. And he's like, what, you don't know this? Like, and just from there, just increasingly get more and more demeaning, probably because he feels inadequate.
Yeah.
And wanted to put her down to build himself up.
Yeah.
Which is not what you want in a partner.
Well, it comes across as very insecure, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's so insecure about how smart OP is that he has to put her in her place so that he can feel better about himself. This guy is a bully, right? This is what bullies do. They drag people down so that they can feel better about themselves. And it isn't a good look. And this isn't how you treat a partner. This isn't how you treat your boyfriend or your girlfriend or whomever, right? This isn't even how you treat a stranger, right? The fact of the matter is that he needs to have a deeper respect for OP and appreciate what OP's doing for them, because it sounds like OP's doing like a majority of, well, I guess actually it's not, I don't even know if they are living together. I don't know if it sounds like, now that I kind of think about it, I don't know if they're living together or not, but at the end of the day, I think that OP is right, that he is getting excited about something that a 16-year-old can do, and he's making a pretty big deal out of it while trying to degrade OP.
Well, and that's the issue. Like, if he was just genuinely exciting and like, wow, like, look, I got an 84, that would be one thing. I would say, you go, like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
But the way he was trying to rub it in OP's face, like, oh, look how much I know. I'm so much smarter than you. I'm so much better than you in every way.
Yeah. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. All right, folks, and our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Calling My Husband an Idiot Because He Keeps Saying That I'm Allowing My Pregnancy Rhinitis to Ruin Everything? I'm a 25-year-old female, and I'm pregnant, and I have pregnancy rhinitis. It feels like I have a permanent head cold, and yesterday my husband, a 27-year-old male, wanted to hang out with me. He tried to get me to play video games. I played, but I wasn't very enthusiastic. He tried to talk to me, but I was so congested. He got frustrated with me, and then he repeated that I'm allowing my pregnancy rhinitis to ruin everything. I called him an idiot, and I told him that he can only criticize my attitude when he goes through pregnancy. He called me a big jerk. Am I the jerk? All right, folks, what do you think?
Maybe this is the fact that I'm dealing with non-allergic rhinitis right now myself, but I'm going to give OP a pass on the name calling. I understand that he was frustrated, but it seems more like he's upset that OP is bringing down the mood and not upset that OP isn't feeling well. Mm-hmm. I think he really needs to, it's not like OP is doing this intentionally. Like, yeah, if she could just magic her allergies away, I'm sure she would be happy to. Like, I would, if someone else wants to, make my allergies disappear, I will be a much happier camper. But like, there's only so much you can do when you're feeling miserable, and you can't expect your partner to just be like super peppy and gung ho when they feel like garbage.
So I do kind of fault OP a little bit for calling him an idiot, and I think that it's just not good when you get to the point where you're calling each other names. And I'm afraid that that's, where this is reached at this point in time. I think that he was terribly wrong for trying to expect OP to be all happy and enthusiastic when she's not feeling well. And I think he owes her an apology. And I think that this is really crummy that he is either frustrated and, trying and taking this out on OP, or he's concerned and doesn't know how to express it or something like that. And, that's not a good place to be. He really needs to be more thoughtful and understanding towards OP and not, take out his frustrations on them. But, yeah, that's kind of where I stand. I know that Amber doesn't agree with my whole thing about, calling him an idiot and stuff like that. I just think it's poor form.
I mean, poor form, but also like the audacity of this man. Be like, oh, you're miserable and suffering. Well, be less miserable. I need you to look happy for me so I don't have to feel bad for you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I just don't know, like, what it would take for me to, like, want to call you an idiot, for instance, right? I feel like if I were to say something like that, it would be deeply hurtful. And just completely uncalled for, even if you said something to me that I thought was like a little hurtful too, right? So that's kind of where I'm coming from. I just don't see it ever being productive.
That's certainly not productive, but also, and like I said, my allergies may be clouding my judgment here.
And that's fair. That's fair. But let us know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. And Accurate Force 3054 says, I'm sorry, I had that too. It's terrible. The rhinitis, that is. I took meds for mine, and my kids didn't end up too messed up. I hope your boyfriend is not always like this, because if he hates how you let the rhinitis ruin everything, just wait until the baby comes. And OP replies, did you have someone who understood your pregnancy rhinitis? And Accurate Force 3054 says, yes, my husband felt bad for me, that I felt so garbage, and if I recall, I went to a minute clinic and got some antibiotics when it was clear, and it was an infection, just not a long cold. Do yourself a favor and don't Google meds and pregnancy. If your doc says that it's okay, then it is. And OP replies, my doc made sure that it was just pregnancy rhinitis. And Bob the Orange Cat says, not the jerk, but prepare yourself. You're about to become a mother of two. And What's My Password 73 says, he's definitely one of those dudes that wanted a child like a kid wants a puppy. He's going to be pretty upset when he gets a whiff of the unrelenting demands of being present and an active parent and partner. All right, folks, and our next letter is titled, my 48-year-old male husband says to me, a 30-year-old female, that he can't cope with my period. My immediate answer to him was don't. He looked baffled as it seemed that he was ready to go into the details. A little backstory. Last month I had the flu, my period, and a UTI, 2 antibiotics, all at the same time, 4-day span. It was exhausting and I was bedridden. I didn't ask him for anything. At the time, we were staying at a 5-star all-inclusive resort, part of a 2-week holiday, and he was spending most of it with our son. I don't ask him to do anything for me during my period, but he seems to dislike me expressing any human needs. I said to him that he lacks empathy for me and doesn't view me as a human, and he didn't deny it. How would other women out there respond if their man said to them this or made them feel like their monthly period is too much to handle? All right, folks, what do you think?
I mean, I would just dump him, divorce him, be done with him. You do not need someone who treats you like that.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of where I stand as well. I feel bad for OP. It sounds like they went through a lot of health problems, and now he's treating OP's period as an inconvenience to him. I don't know. That just seems like poor form.
Oh, it is so much poor form.
Like, being a parent is hard. I understand that. And I'm sure that he is exhausted from taking care of the kid by himself for a week or whatever it was, 4-day span, right? But, at that time, their partner was going through some pretty heavy health struggles. And it's understandable, that that's going to bring a lot of stress to both of them. But the fact that he is being such a mean individual about it just seems.
That's the thing, is that it's not like, oh, he was just frustrated and like, oh, it's a shame that this happened, or like, it's, oh, I can't deal with your period. Like, first of all, he didn't have to deal with it. He just had to deal with the kid. And like, people get sick. Like, OP wasn't just on her period. Like, it would be bad if she just had a debilitating period anyway, but like, she also had all these other health issues going on simultaneously, and here he is acting like her period is like the end of the world.
But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. All right, folks, it is tea time. Grab your beverages of choice. I've got some tea right here, and Amber, she has a joke.
What sport do hair accessories prefer?
Oh, hair accessories, they really like the javelin throwing, actually. And you might know why if you saw those like giant needles in people's hair, right? The hair accessory ones. And so that's what sport they like.
Bowling.
Oh.
And it's International Bow Day and also National Potato Day.
Oh, so go find yourself a potato and bowl with it.
It's International Bow.
Oh, bow,
B-O-W.
B-O-W. Still, go find yourself a potato and bowl with it.
Or find a potato and eat it. Potatoes are delicious.
And I have the special guest tea, some matcha today. All right, folks, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for watching. Happy Terrific Tuesday, spelled T-W-O. Amber, we need some kind of moral advice and or guidance, and please have it on unsupportive partners.
Support your partner.
Yeah. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all tomorrow.
Bye.